I'll be demonstrating the long tail cast on. It is probably the most universally used cast on because it gives you a clean, smooth edge and it is a bit firm in tension. It gets its name because we take the stitches from the tail of the yarn and also from the working yarn or the yarn attached to the ball. So to begin the long tail cast on, we have to start with a slip knot. To make a slip knot, simply take your yarn, and I like to turn it or twist it so that to me that looks a little bit like a breast cancer ribbon. And I take my ribbon and I fold it down. And when I fold it down, you can see that I have a bit of a pretzel looking. And I am going to take this lower leg or bottom leg of the pretzel, this part that is underneath right here, and I'm going to pull that up onto my needle. And when I do, I now have a slip knot on my needle. So to start making the cast on stitches with long tail, you have your tail in the front and your working yarn in the back. So that makes a bit of a triangle or a tent. I'm going to put my thumb and my index finger inside that tent, and I'm going to close the door by grabbing both strands of yarn inside my lower 3 fingers. So here I have a bit of a tent, and I'm going to widen my thumb and forefinger and then pull down my knitting needle. I've done all of that hard work to create this V here, which gives me all of the strands I need to set up and to construct my long tail cast on stitches. So now I take my knitting needle, I go under the thumb, over the index, and then I come down through that thumb toward you. And then I simply scoot that stitch back up on there, tighten it a bit so that it's sitting on there as it would for you to knit. So now I come back down to my starting position again, and I go under the thumb, over the index, back down through the thumb, again, under the thumb, over the index, back down through the thumb. Now you'll notice that I am not going back to having to reposition my hands each time because I have done this cast on millions of times. But as a beginner, you may need to start and reposition your hands every time. So you'll put your thumb and index finger in between the tail in the front, working yarn in the back, close the door with your hands, widen it up a little bit, pull your knitting needle down to get this V, under the thumb, over the index, back down through the thumb. One last time, under the thumb, over the index, back down through the thumb. Happy knitting!